Hi, today we'll be visiting Hirata Estate, or should I say Hirata Estate on the bank of the Dragonspring River. We'll also explore a bit of character art and go through all the sculptor's idols and see how they were localized and what interesting bits we can derive from their original names. As usual, we'll quickly go over the disclaimers, legend, and sources. If it's not the first time around, feel free to skip ahead. Number 1. Use common sense. Please do not assume that I have access to some secret true knowledge. I'm just entertained by reading Sekiro in Japanese. My lore theories are just theories, so treat them accordingly. Number 2. I am not a professional translator. I have never worked in localization. Yes, I will say that something is translated poorly and something is not, and it will be my personal point of view. Ultimately, my goal is to give you the information so you can see if the localization was good or not, whether something important was lost or not. My opinion is just that, and I choose to share it. Number 3. I am not an expert on Buddhism or Shintoism. I will leave links to the religious terms that we will encounter so you can read more on your own if you're interested. As usual, the transcriptions I give do not follow all academic rules and I don't think it's necessary. They're just here to represent the pronunciation in case you're curious. All sources I used for this research will be listed in the description box below, along with all the additional information that I referenced throughout the video so you can read more if you're interested. There you will also find a link to my original blog post if you want to read it through. The first spread in the art book and also the first sculptor's idol is called Dragonspring Riverbank, Hirata Estate. In the art book, the estate is not burning yet, just sleeping. For some reason, I've always thought that's how Kuro got here from the Divine Realm, through this river, just like Harunaga was sent downstream in his pot when he was banished and ended up here. I have zero proof of that, obviously, but since I'm pretty sure that all Dragonaires are born in the Divine Realm and are then sent to the Ashina Lands, that's how I always imagined Kuro getting here. I don't think we ever talked about Harunaga save for the Karpnushi quest. In Japanese, he's called Tsubo no Kijin Harunaga. For once, there aren't any options really to reading his name. It's most certainly Harunaga. The word Kijin denotes all nobles in the game. It means aristocrat or person of high rank. A pretty steep social ladder from a crazy bait producer of Mibu Village. Tsubo just means pot. These pots are all over the game, not only in the Fountainhead Palace, but also in the White Serpent Shrine, for example. The next sculptor's idol is called Yashikidori. The localization is on point, it's a state path. Honestly, it's a little bit hard for me to match the art book pictures with the game because in the art book nothing is destroyed and nothing is burning. The upside is that we can see what Hirata Estate really looks like when not being burned or pillaged. Immediately near the idol we can see a bansho, a guardhouse marked with Yashina banners. The ransacked buildings further down the road and to the right are servants' houses. This place is called Houses of the People Protecting the Park Cemetery. Reien is quite a poetic word, consisting of spirit and park or garden, and can denote a memorial park or a cemetery constructed in the style of a park. The art book also depicts a teien, a garden, but I'm not sure where it is in the game. It is a garden with a pond, but the only such garden is the main one, so maybe it didn't make it into the game. A beautiful sight though. The place where we go through the Mikiri tutorial, otherwise known as Shinobi Hunter and Shin of Misen, is called Chikurin Sakamae Hiroba, a square before the bamboo thicket slope. Enshin is depicted in the art book as the archetypical Shinobi Hunter. His original name is Shinobikari Misein Enshin, and funnily enough, I don't think that Enshin is his name, as the English localization makes it appear. We discussed Misen Temple when we talked about Gokan sugars that are manufactured there. I voiced a doubt that Misen is actually a temple because the in part confused me. Later I got a comment where someone told me that this kanji actually can indicate a temple as a suffix, which prompted me to research in a different direction. Thanks for that comment. I found a bunch of words, some of which I knew, ironically, that have to do with temples and have this kanji in them. So it's probably Misen Temple, given that Misen is a real holy mountain in Japan and a place of pilgrimage. But what is Enshin? The clue lies in the kanji, as usual. The first kanji immediately caught my attention because I researched it some time ago. It is En, an outdated kanji for En, yen, Japanese monetary unit. It also means circle and is used now almost exclusively in the names of many Buddhist sects. There are many schools within Buddhism, some of them are exclusive to Japan, and within those schools of Buddhism there are sects, and the temples of those sects are often named with the En kanji. The second kanji shin proves this point since one of its meaning is Buddhist sect, and it is used, for example, in Shingonshu, Shingon Buddhism, one of the major schools of Buddhism in Japan. Let's make a brief acquaintance with Kukai, a Japanese Buddhist monk who founded Shingon Buddhism. You'll never guess where he was in 806. On Mount Misen. Even though eventually he chose Mount Koya as his holy site, Miyajima Tourist Association insists that Kukai visited Mount Misen in 806. The shinobi hunter is nameless, but his allegiance lies with a Buddhist sect from the temple on Mount Misen, and it all might be a reference to Shingon Buddhism and its founder Kukai, who supposedly visited Mount Misen. Yeah, I didn't expect to uncover something like this either. This idol's original name is Chikurin Saka, bamboo thicket or bamboo grove slope. There isn't much concept art in the art book from this part of the Hirata estate, but there is still some. For example, when you get the temple key from Owl and follow the path through the chasm, you grapple to small Hokora shrines that we discussed in the previous video. These ones are called Shechihoko Kazari no Hokora, Hokora shrines decorated with Shechihoko. Shechihoko is a mythical carp with the body of a fish and the head of a tiger that is believed to be able to cause rain to fall. That is why they often adorn temples and castle roofs to protect them from fire. Well, these Shechihoko and the Shifun dragons from the roofs of the Ashina castle are certainly struggling with doing their job because both these places end up engulfed in flames. There are also wave-shaped decorations on the roofs here and there, and those are called protection against fire decorations that replicate the Shechihoko in their form. Turtle is a symbolic animal in Japanese culture. It symbolizes longevity, support, and protection. That is why it's been one of the favorite motifs and decorations for centuries. The art book pictures metal fixtures adorned with turtles. To reach our next idol, let's climb Dokutsu no Kabe, the cave wall. As for the lone shadow that we meet here after using Owl's Omamori bell, it's the same Masanaga the spear leg that appears in the serpent shrine of the Ashina castle after the first invasion, only here he is younger and has a few more tricks up his sleeve. His name, however, is unchanged, and we'll cover him in the second Ashina castle video. As we emerge from the well, the idol we touch is Hirata Yashiki Suden, Hirata Estate main building. The main building, guarded by Juuzou the Drunkard, is called, unsurprisingly, Suden, main building. The bandits that we fight throughout Hirata Estate are called Yato, brigand or bandit. Some of them wear a piece of chest armor with the Hirata sigil crossed out. I wonder if they stole it from the actual Hirata soldiers, or these are actually the Hirata soldiers who betrayed the clan. There is an incredible spread in the art book depicting the burning garden, Suden and Jousuru Niwa, burning gardens of the main building. His original name is Uwabami no Juuzou, where Uwabami literally means large snake, but can also refer to a heavy drinker, which is much more fitting in Juuzou's case. He drinks sake while you fight him and drops a bottle afterwards. You have a chance to fight this giant man twice if you pursue the purification ending and return to Hirata Estate through Owl's Omamori bell. Juuzou reminds me of the Headless because of his ginormous size. Wolf is barely up to his hip. He also wears purple, which is worn by very few characters in Sekiro. Let's see what the prayer necklace has to say about him. Nana no Nenju, 7th prayer necklace. The localization is correct. Juuzou used to be an exceptional taguimare, wrestler, serving a mighty feudal lord, but he fell from grace, indulging in alcohol, and was banished. Thus, he became a bandit and was named Juuzou the Drunkard. Inside the main building, there are a couple of shinobi hunters and Inosuke with his mother. We covered them in the outskirts video. This idol is called Hirata Yashiki Watari Rouka, Hirata Estate Passageway. The original name is referring to the roofed corridor that connects the main building and the study at the back that hides the entrance to the hidden temple. Finally, hidden temple. We can't really get any idols until we defeat Lady Butterfly, so let's talk a little bit about this place. Why would Hirata clan hide the Buddhist temple underneath the heart of their estate? I don't really have an answer. The only thing I can think of is the tension they had with the Ashina clan. Ashina were considered heretics because they worshipped the fountainhead waters. Ishin is clearly opposing Buddhism as he speaks disrespectfully about the business Geichiro conducts with Senpo Temple, and he also hunts down temple's agents as Tengu. There isn't a single Buddhist temple, I don't think, in the Ashina castle or in the vicinity, save for the ruins of the dilapidated temple far in the outskirts. They have the serpent shrine, though. Hirata probably did not support Ashina in their beliefs and wanted to continue the religious practice of Buddhism, but being the cadet branch of Ashina, they couldn't really do it openly. So they continued the practice in their hidden temple so that the Ashina clan wouldn't know. It was possibly one of the many points of tension these two clans had. But then again, the temple doesn't really look like it's been visited much recently. Whether burning or not, it doesn't look like people come here often, if at all, so it's another mystery that I don't really have an answer for. Back to the temple. It's called Kakushi Butsuden, Hidden Buddhist Temple. The giant Buddha is called exactly that, Daibutsu, large statue of Buddha, traditionally at least 4.8 meters high. In the art book, the temple is depicted without the flames and with a different type of statue, although the one from the game is on the same page, and the temple looks very solemn, if somewhat abandoned. Here we fight the one and only Maburoshi Ocho, Phantom Lady Butterfly. We talked about her extensively when we discussed Remnants. In the art book, there is an early concept art of her smoking a pipe, her hair is in a ponytail without the binding, and I think her shawl is longer, more like a cloak. The art book also depicts her long kunai that looks so sharp I'm not even going to touch their image or I'll get cut by it. She also wears a lot of purple, which kind of makes sense. After defeating Lady Butterfly, we can access the idol, Hirata Estate, Hidden Buddhist Temple. It was a brief visit to the Hirata Estate, but an interesting one nonetheless. Next up, Abandoned Dungeon. There won't be much idols or concept art to discuss, but I think we have a bunch of notes to go through. A little announcement. I've set up a community Discord server for Shitani's Lair. I wanted to become a cozy place to discuss video games and tabletop games, find friends to play them with, follow new releases and events together, and do other great things. To be honest, I don't have much experience running community servers, but I'll do my best. If you'd like to join the server, you're more than welcome. The invite link will be in the description, in the pinned comment, and on the channel's About page. Don't forget to check the description for relevant links and more reading. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.